Back on the MSG 150 at home. Great to have you with us. Bill Pito along with Michelle Gingras and Alan Hahn as we now bring in former Giants punter Jeff Feagles. He's part of the Giants radio pregame and postgame show. Also helps out our Giants coverage here on MSG Network. Jeff, thanks so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. Hope you and your family are doing really well.
Well, it's great to be here. And yeah, my family's doing great. I've got some boys at home, some in college, some working. So yeah, doing good and great to talk to you guys. Hope you're doing well, Sue.
All right, so tell us about this virtual draft upcoming on Thursday. It's always a very random process when you're picking young players, even with all the scouting and all the work that they can do with the combines. They can't do that this year. You think it's going to impact teams on their ability to draft solid players and make good decisions?
I think that, you know, the first couple rounds, I think you're investing so much money in these guys, and it is sad that they're not able to do the testing and things like that. A lot of the medical retestings, they're not able to do those types of things. Those are the important aspects of getting it right in the first two rounds for some of those guys. I think the interview process is taking place just like what we're doing here, virtually. So that's not a big deal. I think that, you know, as far as these guys not able to show, there were some guys that weren't able to do some things at the combine that normally they would be able to do at the pro day. That's going to hurt them a little bit as far as if they were looking to move up on the draft board. And I feel like some of the guys that got a lot of work during the combine, that's going to help their stock and be able to stay, I would say, consistent throughout the draft.
Jeff, Dave Gettleman said that the Giants would seriously entertain the possibility of trading down in this year's draft, especially with so many offensive tackles on the board. He's never done that before, though, so this would be the first time he ever traded down. Do you think that this could be the year?
Well, I always believe that history has a way of repeating itself. I don't think so. I think the Giants, you know, nowadays, not only Dave Gettleman, but all the GMs in the NFL, these guys are putting up all the smoke shows, and they're all talking out of the side of their mouth. I think that the Giants are where they want to go out and get the guy that they want, and that's going to be from the offensive tackle position, in my opinion. And I believe that they want a guy, they're going to go get him. And I just would love to know how their draft board is built on that wall, wherever it is, because it's interesting. Every year I want to get in that door, but I can never get in there.
Let's go back to the virtual. We all want to get in that room, right, where it happens. Yeah. But let's go back to what you mentioned about doing things virtually right now in this world that we all are being part of. What we're doing right now is pretty much a virtual show. But what they're doing is very serious because this is a draft and it can impact what your franchise looks like going forward. It's also off-season workouts for a brand new coaching staff who hasn't had a lot of time in the same room together, especially with their players. So how is this going about? And from a player's perspective, is this a challenge or is this maybe something you'd rather do because now you don't have to show up for off-season workouts?
Well, listen, that's good for some people that don't show up normally, so they're okay with that. But I feel like, you know, a lot of this is all new territory. As players, I don't care what kind of a player you are, basketball, football, we're all creatures of habit. We at this time of the year, we're locked and loaded, ready to go into that off-season workout program and get things going and getting stronger, faster, those types of things. There is nowhere to go other than your house. I mean, you got to start lifting, pushing trucks. You got to start lifting planters. You got to find stuff to do. This is going to be difficult because the Giants, they have to get to know this the staff has to get to know these players. A lot of new players, a lot of new free agents. I'm not so worried about the veteran players because I feel like they understand what it takes to get things done and get their bodies in shape. It's the guys after the draft. When this happens and they're not able to get into the building, the players don't know the coaches don't know the players well enough to understand their work ethic. That's why a lot of this interviewing and doing their due diligence takes a lot of precedence in when you're going to go draft these guys.
Jeff, what kind of impact do you think this is going to have? Alan brought up the fact that it's a new coaching staff. Yeah. Now, one positive, you have assistants that have been in college, may help with the evaluation process of some of the guys the Giants might draft. But Joe Judge, Jeff, has never been a head coach anywhere. How do you think this type of odd situation here, unprecedented situation, is going to impact him in his preparation for his first year as a coach on any level?
Well, I feel like he went out and did a nice job at hiring his staff. He's got 5 head coaches on this staff. So I believe that those guys are going to be collectively able to help Joe Judge going forward from the head coaching position. Burton Burns is the running backs coach, comes from Alabama. He is certainly there to coach Saquon Barkley. We're not interested in going and drafting another running back early in the round, so that's why he was brought in. So that's a good thing. The other guy is Sean Spencer and Kevin Schurer. These are guys that are actively have been in the college ranks for the last few years. Burton has been into the college forever. But the fact is, they know a lot of these draft picks. Now, the college process, these coaches, what they do is they put reports together and they submit them to the general manager and the scouting department. So I don't know if it's much of an advantage that these coaches know some of the college guys. I think it's more that they get their good input and give it to the scouting department, and then they go and draft the guys.
Jeff, if you were in a draft room these days, would you take a flyer on a punter or a field goal kicker? Where is the value of these guys right now in the modern day NFL game in terms of drafts?
Well, listen, I feel like the position is so underrated that, you've got to start analyzing first, second rounders for these guys. I mean,
first or second rounders, really?
I mean, if you look at, I would, wink in my eye here. I think that, listen, what I've always found funny about the punting position, I get it. There was one guy drafted in the first round. That was Ray Guy. He's in the Hall of Fame. How many times are we sitting on the sidelines watching the games on Sunday and it comes down to the kicker to win the game? Yeah, right. I mean, a lot of times. But do they put credence in the guys? They don't draft these guys, right? They're a dime a dozen. Well, just ask some of the teams that have missed the playoffs because of their field goal kicker. I think these guys, I think one thing about this draft that I know, talking to Terrence, to McGahee and Tom Quinn from the Giants, there are not a lot of good kickers in this draft. So don't think that the Giants are going to go out and get one, because they've got a good one in Aldrick Rosas, and I think that he'll have a bounce-back season.
Jeff, thank you so much. We can't thank you enough for your time. Best to you and your family. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you much, guys. Thank you.
All right, Jeff Feagles joining us. Coming up next, classic games. Patrick Ewing as a rookie at Los Angeles in 1986 against Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. We're going to talk about it when we come back after this.